Chapter 3, Section 1, An Era of Exploration. Before Christopher Columbus discovered America, there were others who came and who had already lived here in North America. Leif Erikson, a Viking, sailed to North America from Scandinavia and was going to settle in a place they called Vinland. When they got there, they met the Inuit and traded with them. This was the first meeting of the Europeans and Indians. Later in history, Christopher Columbus was looking for the better trade route to Asia, but instead found America. He found signs of gold when he explored the land. In 1513, Vasco de Balboa plunged into the jungles of the Isthmus of Panama. He also discovered the Pacific Ocean, and Ferdinand Magellan was first to circumnavigate the world. The Europeans introduced these things to natives. Domesticated animals, pigs, cattle, and horses. Some, however, escaped and multiplied rapidly. Europeans learned these things from natives of America. Corn, potato, beans, tomatoes, manioc, squash, peanuts, pineapples, and blueberries. The time during Columbus's exploration marked the beginning of a global exchange of goods, ideas, arts, and technology, now known as the Columbian Exchange.
Section 2 talks about how Spain conquered the Aztecs and Incas and enslaved their people in the Spanish colonies, or pueblos as they called them. Eventually, the Indians started to get weaker and weaker, so they decided to switch to Africans. They sailed to Africa to get African slaves.
Section 3, Colonizing North America. The court of King Henry VI of England buzzed with excitement in August 1497. Caboto, called John Cabot by the English, cut a swaggering figure on the streets of London. Cabot was one of many Europeans who explored North America between the 1400s and the 1600s. Throughout the 1500s, European nations continued to look for new ways to reach riches to Asia. Although John Cabot was confident he had found such a passage, he was mistaken. The French sent another Italian captain, Giovanni da Varizzo, in search of a northwest passage. In 1609, English explorer Henry Hudson sailed for the Dutch. The following year, Hudson made a voyage into the far north, this time for the English. None of these explorers found a northwest passage to Asia. European nations began to compete for riches around the world. In 1517, a German monk named Martin Luther publicly challenged many practices of the Catholic Church. Because of their protest against the Church, Luther's supporters became known as Protestants. By the late 1500s, religion divided the states of Western Europe as Europeans settled in the Americas. They brought their religious conflicts with them. Not all rivalries were religious. New France was governed much like Spain. Louis XIV worried that two new French were moving to New France. Like the French, the Dutch took to profit from the discovery in the Americas. Dutch traders sailed first to the Netherlands. European settlement of North America brought major changes to Native Americans. The arrival of Europeans affected Native Americans in other ways. Section 4. Thomas Gates was full of plans as he sailed from England to help run the Jamestown colony in Virginia. Gates was hardly prepared for the sight that greeted him. Discouraged, Gates loaded everyone onto his ships and turned to sail for home. England watched with envy as Spain gained riches from its American colonies. The colonists landed on an island off the coast of present-day North Carolina. In 1587, Whately sent John White, one of the original colonists, back to Roanoke with a new group of settlers, including women and children. For a time, the governors sent by the Virginia Company ran the colony like a military spot. To attract more settlers, the Virginia Company took steps to establish a more stable government. The idea that people had political rights was deeply rooted in English history. At first, free Virginians had even greater rights than citizens in England. The colony's first woman arrived in 1608, named Mistress Forrest, and her maid, Anne. Africans came to Virginia early on. About 300 Africans lived in Virginia by 1644. In the late 1600s, Virginia set up a system of laws allowing white colonists to enslave Africans for life.
Section 5 talks about how the Pilgrims and the people of all the colonies wanted religious freedom, and how the Pilgrims made the Mayflower Compact to agree on rules that were fair to everyone.
Alright. And then, did not record.